What's good, my man in society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Look, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and are subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to discuss was F the police. It's a joke. But I'm saying the dysfunction, the miscommunication between civilians or, regular day folks and law enforcement, right? You hear a lot of, people, saying F the police, or you hear them defund the police, or, and then other people saying that, oh, let's see who you're going to call, if they ever do a crime on you, you're going to be crying and bitching, and you don't know what they go through, so you guys just make it worse for them. And, both sides of the spectrum. Now, even though, I got my views and been through stuff, with law enforcement, right? They have done, a lot of stuff, illegal stuff, right? I've been through a lot of those situations where they were breaking the law, But I'm unbiased right here. Like, I always call it how it is, So just because I've been through those experiences, I'm not gonna come and degrade these individuals or try to make them look bad or anything like that. I'm gonna call it fair and square, like it is always right here, even Steven. But now, my main problem with law enforcement that I feel that needs to be fixed, and the reason for maybe a majority of the problem, with people and law enforcement is one, that they don't really know what the law is. Even though they're law enforcement officers, police officers, a lot of them truly don't know, what people's rights are, right? So they go on a power trip, the ego trip, right? They start throwing their weight around and think that they can do whatever they want, when that's not the case. You can't do whatever you want. You know what I mean? And just because, you feel, insulted, or you feel like, someone's, degrading you, doesn't give you the right to now, try to plant evidence or falsifies reports and stuff like that just to get somebody in trouble, which a lot of them like to do, because they get their egos take a hit. Look, and I understand, like people say, well, what kind of shit is that? You got people just trying to do their jobs, and then you got these people harassing them. Look, they know what their job is. That's their profession. And as their profession, their job is to maintain, a professional, attitude while doing their job. So just because someone's standing on the sidewalk, right, and is yelling, you pigs, or, F you guys, or whatever, that doesn't give them the right to now try to come and, tackle this individual or arrest this individual or something like that. Even though this individual's acting like a fucking jackass and a fucking idiot and all that, and, rightfully deserves to get his ass kicked or whatever people think, right, is he's not breaking the law. It's within his right, of freedom of speech. He's allowed to do that. Even though, like I said, he looks stupid and he's a fucking idiot. Law enforcement have to maintain, calm and collective attitude, even though, like I said, they're being harassed. And even if that guy, that's talking shit to them, if he was to get shot, they would still have to attend to him and, help him, regardless if they don't like him or not. It's because that's within their job description. That's their job. Because if you can't handle that, then this is not the profession for you. Then you don't have the right to wear that badge then. Because clearly you cannot handle the job. You get what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that people fail to, realize, that yes, individuals, some act out of character, but like I said, they're not breaking the law, though. It's within their rights here in America. So people you can be upset about it and all that shit, but like I said, nobody is above the law, not even these individuals. And that's the reason why they do this to these individuals. They test to see if they're going to break the law or if they know what their laws are, which a lot of them fail. You can find so many videos on YouTube of law enforcement breaking the law, breaking people's, violating people's civil rights. You got to know what your rights are in this country, right? Just because a police officer tells you something, or, like, hey, let me see, what's your name or your ID? You don't have to give it to them. It's within your right to not give it to them. Just like if some random person in the street was to ask you, what's your name or give me your ID, you don't have to give it to them either. Unless they're detaining you, or they suspect you of committing a crime, then, right? But other than that, they cannot ask for, that information. You don't have to give it to them. you know, and they can be mad about it and they can be upset and whatever, but they don't have the right to now come and grab you and you know, blow the shit out of proportion because their egos get hurt. You know what I mean? Because they want to feel like what they say goes, but that's not how it works. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of these individuals, you know, this has happened. You know, putting body cams on police officers was one of the greatest and best ideas that could have ever happened, because now you get to see a lot of corruption and a lot of law enforcement taking advantage of people's, you know, rights. You know, you know, now you get to hear how they lie and all that. Not all of them, not all cops are bad cops, but like I said, a lot of them, you know, don't have the proper training, right? And they feel like just because they have that badge that they could rule over you, when that's not. They're supposed to protect and serve the community, not rule over it. You know, um, and that's just the difference, right? Like, so keep this in mind. All these laws that they put into place and body cam and all that. I know a lot of people get frustrated or whatever, like, oh, you guys are making their jobs harder and stuff like that. Look, there's a reason why all these laws get put into place, bro, and all these new procedures. It's because cops were caught doing stuff illegally and breaking the law. That's the reason why we had these new rules, because cops were doing shit they weren't supposed to be doing. They only got themselves to blame because of these, you know, new, you know, rules and regulations, because shit was getting out of hand with them. They were power tripping. You know what I mean? And it's a reminder to them that they are not above the law and that we don't work for them. They work for us, because my taxpayer money pays for their fucking checks. You get what I mean? They are there to serve you, not the other way around. But a lot of them don't like that, because they want to feel like they're the ones in charge, and what they say goes, and they are not the fucking judge, you know, jury and executioner. You know, and a lot of people that, you know, come and say a lot of dumb comments in the comments, right? Maybe they have law enforcement family members and stuff like that. But and you know, like, oh, you know, we'll see, you know, when they need someone to call, who they're gonna call, and shit like that. But like I said, you can be upset, but and we're not saying that, you know, their family members are the ones that are breaking the law, but because of their fellow, you know, partners and, you know, of the badge, the reason all this shit happened. You got crooked cops to blame. You know what I mean? Um, you hear a lot of them in body cams where it says like, "Oh, shit is not like how it used to be. We're able to get away with stuff." You know, they have captured so many of these individuals saying that kind of shit. So you can only imagine what kind of shit they were doing. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, I've experienced it firsthand myself. A lot of these people that say that these individuals, make their job harder and it's so stupid, they never been, on the other side of the shoe. Like they say, oh, if you knew what they went through, you wouldn't be acting like this. If you knew what the people went through with these individuals, you wouldn't be talking like this. You know what I mean? Because you haven't experienced that side of law enforcement. Where they're trying to plant evidence, falsify, reports, beating you for absolutely no reason. You know, they have a bad day or an argument with their wife, and then they want to take out their anger on you. They don't get to do that. You have to maintain profession no matter what the fuck you have going on in your personal life. That is part of your job. It's your profession to maintain professional. You get what I mean? So that's why these individuals get, grilled, or they have all eyes on them while they're performing their jobs, because a lot of these individuals have shown to go off the rails. When reminder, bro, you are not above the law, and reminder that you have to do your job while following the law. How do you expect people to follow the law if you are not following the law yourself? You have to show that people could make all of this shit happen, within the rules of the law. But by you breaking the law, you're showing these individuals that you can't get shit done by following these rules that are set in place. That you have to, do these kind of things in order to get shit done. By breaking the law, okay. These individuals have to make their lives happen by breaking the law then. You get what I mean? That's why you're not allowed to do that kind of shit. So it's within your rights. So I know, you see a lot of cop channels out there, people that, how could I say, they record, when police officers are engaging in, their job or whatever. but it's for the safety of the civilians because, like I said, a lot of them want to, when they feel like no cameras are around, they tend to go haywire. They power trip, ego trip. Not all of them, but I'm saying, you know, there's so many cases of that shit happening. You know, wrongfully, detaining individuals, wrongfully arresting individuals, mistaken identities and all kinds of shit, bro. Because these individuals were sloppy in doing their job. They were lazy. Just like you have lazy people at your job that do shortcuts and shit like that, and it goes all south. Same with these individuals with their job. That's the reason why, with such a job so important where, lives are at stake, why it's so important to maintain the profession and why they have to now wear body cams to make sure that, that they're actually telling the truth because so many times, they have been caught lying, because instead of admitting that they're wrong, they now look for reasons of why to keep this person detained or arrested, just because they don't want to admit that they fucked up because they don't want to get in trouble. They rather fucking now look for something because they feel like they have the power to. And that's where you have to bring them back to real life, back to reality. So I feel like to fix the problem, they need a lot of, training in knowing their laws, right? What the law is, and psychological trauma, like a lot of therapy, because a lot of these individuals go through things that normal people don't go through, right? They see things that, normal people don't go through, the most brutal crimes. They get insulted, harassed, their humanity, their sexuality, their, religion and ethnicity get challenged and insulted while doing this job, right? They have to maintain, just a steady, mind state. So, a lot of therapy, right? A lot of de-escalation courses, right? Because a lot of them tend to escalate the situation instead of de-escalating them, right? All those things on your belt, but yet you reach for your gun straight off the bat. The person's holding a knife and you reach for your gun instead of a taser or pepper spray or something like that. Come on now. Like I said, because when shit is happening and everything's happening so fast and the adrenaline is kicking in, that's what the training is for. That's why they train and all of that. That's what the training is for. You know, a lot of their training is physical, courses and shooting and stuff like that. But it has to be more mental because your job deals with more mental than anything else. You show up to a scenario, you got to know how to de-escalate, read people's body language, read the scenario, what people are going through to now de-escalate it, right? Instead of, fucking taking lethal force or something like that, right? Where it's like, bro, that shit could have been prevented if they just, schooled you guys better. Here, not physical. Knowing how to make decisions because, you make the most important decisions, lives and deaths. So, I feel like, they just gotta, do better training in the mental aspect of things instead of the physical, because defunding the police is a stupid idea. Getting rid of the police is a stupid idea. You need, police around in order to maintain, how could I say, everything peacefully, right? Because you got a lot of lunatics out there. But overall, that's just my opinion. What do you guys thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Chat. We up.